Something's happening here, and what it is ain't exactly clear, and we need to talk about it because let me tell you, someone at L'Oreal decided to double up on the Bang energy drink. Their blood pressure is so dang high, it looks like their face is gonna explode, all plethoric, red, puffy, because I just want you guys to know, I have been on a rabbit hole journey that has me out the other side, and the journey starts with a question, finds some semblance of an answer, and then opens up a whole Pandora's box of what is going on here, folks. The backstory, last week of July 2024. Picture yourself there. If you're in the H-Town area, you were sweating profusely because that's just par for the course. From my channel, a video was published reviewing La Roche Posay Melasyl product, the Mela B3, okay? And I'm gonna need some of you to drop a comment right now. Right now, I need all the engagement I can get. This video is not gonna get pushed out on YouTube subscriptions just by its own personal merit. I'm gonna need teamwork to make the dream work. Just think, a charitable contribution of dropping a comment, you might save somebody 15 to 20 minutes of productive time after clicking into my video thanks to your engagement. But specifically, drop a comment below if you are one of the 303 joy-filled souls who saw that video back in July, sweating to the oldies, and you decided for yourself, not only am I gonna watch this video, but I'm gonna hit subscribe. If you subscribe to this channel after watching the Melasyl B3 video, this one's for you. In fact, I know you've probably been waiting all year because we're basically at a year mark because you've been waiting for more Melasyl talk. I've been keeping you in the dark because I've been underground. And the soil is fertile and I have come up for air. What am I even talking about? Well, as you guys recall, Mela B3 is a line from La Roche Posay. You've got a serum, you got a sunscreen with the ingredient Melasyl. And Melasyl is an ingredient for those of you who are looking to tackle dark spots. It's been in the works, allegedly, for 18 years now. It's a L'Oreal ingredient, okay? How does it work? It's thought to work by disrupting melanin precursor incorporation into melanin pigment, and it's a promising ingredient for putting the brakes on UV-induced immediate and delayed pigment darkening. Okay, if you have a deeper skin tone, this is a lot of what will lead to discoloration and dark marks. It sets the stage for those things. It's a interesting ingredient. It's got some clinical data behind it, and you know, L'Oreal, they do a lot of work at the bench. All right, they do a lot of work. They don't just pick a leaf, grind it up, and put it in a cream and be like, oh, natural, all right? They do some work. In addition to Melasyl, the actual name of the ingredient, let's get scientific, is 2-mercaptonicotinamide glycine. But that doesn't have quite the same ring as Melasyl. So they always come up with, you know, like a trademark jazzy name to attract your attention. And I like the name Melasyl. In addition to Melasyl, the products have niacinamide, which is an excellent ingredient for dark spots, provided you tolerate it. Niacinamide disrupts the transfer of pigment packets from the melanin producing cells, the melanocytes, to the surrounding skin cells, the keratinocytes, which constitute the bulk of your epidermis. So it's a really great ingredient to consider incorporating if you deal not only with dark spots but also redness. It's an antioxidant and it helps the moisture barrier. It has many advantages, and it makes perfect sense to include it wherever possible in dark spot correcting products, because in contrast to many other ingredients, it doesn't target tyrosinase. It's not a tyrosinase inhibitor. So you could throw a tyrosinase inhibitor in there alongside niacinamide and they'd be like stealth mode. But in this case, we've got Melasyl, their jazzy ingredient. And you probably already remember the backstory of this. And if you remember the backstory and you decided not only to subscribe on that day, but that you were going to watch more of my videos, you pick up on the fact that I'm not such a fan of strong fragrances in leave-on skincare products, especially for the face, especially those that are intended to help improve the appearance of skin issues like discoloration, because sure, some people have no issue with fragrance, but it can be irritating, and that ultimately is going to muckety muck up the fading hyperpigmentation path. Well, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but L'Oreal owns a lot of brands, so when they come up with a cool ingredient, they can sprinkle it amongst the brands if they so choose. You may know Melasyl from La Roche Posay because they sprinkled it in the this whole line. But Kiehls is also a L'Oreal brand. And since I hated the fact that this had strong fragrance in it, albeit it doesn't linger too much, but I saw that Kiehls has this auto tone discoloration UV solution. So how does this stack up to the Mela B3 UV Daily Sunscreen? They're both SPF 30 chemical sunscreens with Melasyl and niacinamide. It's interesting because La Roche Posay chooses to tell us that their product has 5% niacinamide, but doesn't tell us anything about the percentage of Melasyl. On the flip side, Kiehls chooses to tell us that their product has 0.5% Melasyl, but doesn't tell us anything about the percentage of niacinamide. If I was a betting person, which I'm not because I'm too cheap for that life, I would be willing to bet that both of them have 5% niacinamide and both of them have 0.5% Melasyl. I could be wrong, but I'd just be willing to bet that that's how these were made. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Here's the thing, the La Roche Posay line. La Roche Posay as a brand, it's gotta have thermal spring water. So that's gonna be a key difference. Kiehls doesn't do the thermal spring water. It's not part of their branding. No thermal spring water in Kiehls, thermal spring water in La Roche Posay. Whoopie-doo, is that gonna transform your life? It may offer some soothing property, but it's a bit of a reach. I wouldn't run out the door, trip over the stoop, forget my pants in an effort to pursue thermal spring water. It's nice, compelling, but it's not like, they've both got shea butter, excellent moisturizing ingredient. Here's what really, grinds my gears. Here's what really grinds my gears and puts, a fire under my rear end is the fact that really the big distinguishing feature between these two is the fact that the La Roche Posay one has fragrance and the Kiehls one does not. And you're like, okay, cool. They probably are pretty much the same. Except when you look at the price point. La Roche Posay is charging you around $35 for this, which in my opinion is pretty steep for an SPF 30 sunscreen. An SPF 30, no cast, mind you, chemical sunscreen, not water resistant, just a daily facial moisturizer. How many ounces? Just a daily facial moisturizer. Now, mind you, it does have Melasyl. So you can make the argument that some of the pricing has to do with Melasyl. It's a new novel ingredient they allegedly spent 18 years working on. That research doesn't fund itself. Maybe that is a more costly ingredient to formulate into sunscreen. But then Kiehls, which would be your fragrance-free option, you want to know how much they're charging for this on their website? $52. $52. Basically, in my opinion, for the fragrance-free alternative. Like if you have hyperpigmentation, you've heard about Melasyl, you get along with niacinamide, you're looking to tackle dark marks, and you don't want that strong fragrance, well, you might be interested in this. $54 though, that just doesn't seem fair. That seems like an injustice against discoloration. Now, will La Roche Posay ever come out with a Melasyl line that does not have fragrance? I hope so. I really hope that a lot of these brands, and I'm looking at you, Eucerin, because you got thiamidol, a cool, compelling dark spot ingredient, and you guys gotta be, you hear dark spot corrector, you got a cool ingredient, and then you gotta muddy the waters with fragrance, which is not something that is going to actively address dark spots. It only likely can aggravate them in those who are sensitive or easily irritated by it. Not to mention, it's just annoying. Is there any difference in how they look on the face? Those of you who signed up to be here in 2024 based on that video, contrast. It's got a dewy finish to it. It actually looks pretty nice on the skin. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna pull out my Mela B3 UV tube. Been a year roughly since I used this. I just feel like this is very oily on my face. I don't recall it feeling like that when I reviewed it before. I don't know if it's just now that I'm comparing it to this and this feels better on my skin than this. Regardless, I don't personally plan to continue with either of these because we need a product from L'Oreal that has Melasyl, that doesn't have fragrance, SPF 50. It's kind of annoying, frankly, that the Kiehls one is that expensive. I hope that La Roche Posay will come out with a fragrance-free version. And I also hope, like I said in other videos, that Eucerin will come out with fragrance-free versions of their thiamidol line. And here's how they can market that. Acne-prone skin with discoloration that's sensitive. I went on Kiehls' website. Surely they've got some more stuff with Melasyl. I mean, it's a L'Oreal brand. Why are they just sneaking it into this one product? I didn't come across anything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now, if you missed my video about thiamidol, that's the one you need to watch, okay? Because especially if you're one of the 303 who willingly hit subscribe after the Melasyl video, why have you not watched the thiamidol video? They're basically like, you know, competing for attention for dark spot correction. So check that one out next if you missed it. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.